I'm in Beirut, and it's August 2025, about 2 months after I first came out here for my solo show. And I wanted to come here to make work fresh from the space. And I didn't really have to create anything per se. I just needed to make sketches and come up with an idea. And then I bought some canvas and I've been sketching out things, and then these sketches have turned pretty big. But what I really like is that it's not just about, like, for me, what was really important is to capture the essence of Beirut and, like, the nature here, the color here, the culture, and to say, hey, when you think of Lebanon, what do you think of? Like, this is what I see. I see peace, I see harmony. I see peace, I see harmony, and I also see pain and suffering and relentless kind of anxiety and all these different things that are mixing together. And obviously, you know, as an outsider, I feel a certain kind of grace and respect to not even comment, but just to observe and witness and to learn. And I think that's really important. And I know that a lot of people said to me, what is an art residency? And I don't even really know myself because each one is different. But this one for me has been a beautiful 2 weeks of, like, saying yes, of going on meetings, of talking about collaborations, of seeing different galleries, of speaking to my friends and seeing and learning from other artists, and, like, going to nature, but also not just, like, having a holiday and nothing like that, like, really, like, observing and watching and listening and sketching and questioning and saying, what do I have to offer? Like, how can I connect people with who they need to connect with? And I think that, like, the reason why I've painted so colorfully is because for too long, I believe that, like, the Middle East gets a certain kind of stereotype and reputation, but it's steeped in such a strong culture of materialism and sensuality and beauty and nature and craftsmanship. And so it's like, when I think of Beirut, this is what I see. These are the colors that I feel. This is the magic that I come up with. And I sketched this drawing of a vase, and I've been painting a lot of vases in nature out here, and I think it's to do with, like, the symbol of fertility and of, like, birthing and holding something precious, but also of something that can be smashed and a vessel to contain. And for me, I won't be able to make sense of this until afterwards. And these pieces, especially these larger ones that I'm making, you know, they're works in progress, but the smaller ones, they're more finished. And I want to do about 12 pieces in total. And, you know, I've got 4 now, and hopefully I'll be showing them next year. And they'll culminate into something bigger. But the idea I keep toying with is Between Two Kingdoms, and it's from a sketch that I made. And it's about this idea of Beirut really is a place between two kingdoms of, like, glamour and grief, and of, like, Islam and Christianity, of the old and the new, of the bougie and the bourgeois, and the plastic surgery, and the poverty and the scarcity and the lack and the pain, of the, like, fun and the joy and the dance until 3 a.m., but then also of, like, the grief and the despair and people wanting to leave. And, like, all of these two kingdoms coexist, and you don't have to choose which one, you know, both are true. So that's for me where I'm at the moment, and I am so blessed to be on an art residency, to have, yes, it was slightly self-initiated, but I think just having this time to carve out, like, learning from another culture, and one that's also close to me. You know, I am Yemeni and I am Arab, and to me, like, a lot of these symbolisms and metaphors, and the adhan, the call to prayer, the olive trees, the dates, the culture of, like, sharing and breaking bread and having coffee is very close to my heart, so it feels also quite familiar. And it's important to me because it's important to me to show that the beauty and pain can exist, and I see color. I see so much color, but it doesn't mean that I don't see the pain and I don't hear the grief and I don't contain the stories that are passed on to me. But it means that I see them, and I want to leave this world a bit brighter, a bit better, a bit more hopeful. And hope isn't burying your head in the sand. Hope isn't saying, no, I can't listen. Hope is saying, I'm listening, and because I am empowered and I'm activated, I can do something about it. And I've been at places in my life where I've been so overwhelmed by activism that, like, you don't know where to start and where to begin, and then you feel like disempowered and you don't know how you can contribute. And then I realized something small like painting, it brings me into my whole self, my unique self, and then from there I can contribute. And so, you know, I had these conversations with people around the table, and he was Palestinian, and he was saying, like, I can't be here having dinner. And I just said, I hear you, and I really do hear you. But I also hear that you said you just wanted to make a restaurant, and that's not a frivolous thing. Like, providing a space for people to come and eat is beautiful. Providing a space for people to witness beauty is beautiful, and it doesn't mean that you're not connected to your people or your land. It means that whilst you're in a safe space, or whilst you have the body and the energy and the resources, you're making with that, and both can be true. And yeah, I just think that's really important. And I'm very lucky to be able to have these one-on-one conversations with people, and I'm excited to see how this unfolds. But I really like this idea of between two kingdoms, and I think that's going to come out probably more and more through these canvases. Everything has a brother and sister piece, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, till then, goodbye.